And welcome back to The Average White Guys. My name's Alex Haynes, one of the owners of A Squared. We're a marketing consulting company, a firm that helps people turn those likes into dollar bills, and we help people increase their ROI through marketing and sales. And I'm here with the one, the only, that's right, Justin Scouten. His name whispers into the darkness like the shadow, because he knows like the shadow knows. Big time, old time reference to a different podcast of sorts from back in the day. Radio broadcast, maybe you know it. Hit us a like in the button if you do. Welcome to my co-host, The Shadow, aka Justin Scouten.
Hello, everybody. This is Justin with LLW Properties Community Real Estate Services, and thank you for joining us tonight.
I'm so excited to be here with you again in this amazing place in your office. And what are we talking about tonight or today or whatever time is?
We are talking about how losses are gains.
Losses or gains. You know, we actually had a different title for this.
But I couldn't remember.
And we just totally went a different way.
I had the right concept. I just couldn't remember the name.
I think it's you're focusing on the wrong thing.
There we go.
There it is. Losses and gains is basically what we're talking about. So,
and I'm going to try and stay away from workouts tonight because I know I rant into that sometimes. So.
No, I think, gains are good. You get those gains.
You're right.
Yeah. I know you've been working out like crazy. So getting ready for Decker or something, right?
A deck and a super for Spartan, yes.
Yes, Spartan, yeah. So he purposely does these things to his body. I do too now. I hate it. He enjoys it. I still haven't gotten to that point. But different thing we're talking about. I want to actually have a little pity party / reflective moment to our audience. I had a rough week. I focused on the wrong thing. And luckily, because I have good friends and accountability, they helped me see a bigger picture, and I kind of thought might be a fun topic to remind our audience, hey, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
I think it's good timing too, because you ended up bringing up like it was kind of right after the holidays, vacations and things like that. Mm-hmm. And as much as we all want that, yay, it's a new year. We're going to get everything done. This is going to be the best year ever.
Yeah.
It just doesn't always work that way. And then, coming off of December is... in my industry, everything just kind of slows down. People aren't wanting to do things. Yep. And I mean, I'm not in the sales in that aspect of it, but it's still just I can't get as much done because other people in other industries are not doing the right things.
It's a slog.
Yes.
It really is. You're trying to you're pushing through to like the spring where things suddenly pick up.
Yeah. A
lot of it has to do with like temperature and like there's a whole psychology behind it. But
so I think some of those things though that we forget about in those downturns is sometimes you lose a client. Sometimes you're going through just some financial issues, and we're talking business right now, but sometimes it happens with your family and other things like that. And you need to learn from those losses.
Absolutely.
And that's what this conversation is going to be about.
And it was a good time to reflect and really, I'm just going to tell the story. So I own a business. We've talked about that. We had a client who we knew was going to expire, just happened a month earlier. It just is what it is. It wasn't a bad thing. We knew it was coming. It was planned. They just opted for a month earlier because we did such a good job at setting them up. They were able to leave earlier, which is not great for, us. Yeah. Good news. We did a good job.
Yes.
Which, sometimes doing the job right is bad for you. It's one of those few times it just bit us in the backside. And so we lost something. And then I actually turned down work because someone tried to bully me into a contract that wasn't good for us. And I said, no, I'm like, look, I'm not going to do this. This is not healthy. They try to attach it to like this other thing they wanted us to partner with them on, which they changed in the last minute. It just went from a really cool opportunity to toxic one, it went bad real fast. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. I'm out. Good thing. Mm-hmm. We didn't take it. Like we didn't get hurt, but I left money. I left guaranteed money for a long-term success. So I didn't take the thing immediately in front of me, and I was annoyed because we already lost something and I didn't pick up something. And if you know me, I don't like to lose. I definitely don't like to lose money, and I like making sales. It makes me feel good. So walking away from 10 grand in sales doesn't make me feel happy. And combine that with having a client expire on us and the churn, I was really frustrated, and I threw a little pity party for myself, and I just was like, meh.
But now you're looking at it going, it was the right decision, 100%. But it's so hard in that moment that you can't get past those frustrations.
The emotions were writing the reality of the situation. So luckily I had a call with my business partner who doesn't think emotionally like I do. I'm definitely the emotional one in this relationship. And there's some joke there. You left that wide open for you. Just didn't take it. Definitely the emotional one in the relationship. But anyway, I called him. I was like,
that could have really got me in trouble in a couple different ways.
You should have done it though. It's hot takes, man. I was waiting for it too. Left the door wide open for you. And I was like, man, I'm really frustrated and yada, yada. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I'm failed and I'm not doing what we need to do. And he's like, dude, this is our first year with employees and we're paying our employees not a little bit of money. Like we have a significant increase in what we're paying out.
Yeah.
And you paid it. And we have money to pay us.
Yeah.
And this and
you're
this.
actually
he's
making
like,
a profit.
We're making a profit. He's like, you remember like 2 years ago, we literally had no money. You lived off of credit cards for like 2 months, 3 months. I was like, yeah, it really sucked and screwed up my credit. He was like, yeah, guess what? We're not doing this year.
Yep.
Any of that. I'm like, yeah, but we lost the client and we did this. He's like, we've made so much more money this month than last year. Like you forgot you 6x'd our company like 6 months ago. We lost one client, not all our clients.
Yep.
One. Yeah, it's not great, but he's like, you forgot how well we're doing overall. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I've had to have a lot of those reflections with the company now too, because we've had to take some different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're, right now, I haven't mentioned this on the podcast, but we are making a new direction here. We're like building out something in the office space that we have. And so we're going to be doing some advertising for that, which we'll be using you guys for.
Oh, shared workspace concept?
Sort of.
Mini offices?
Mini offices. Yeah, you're not paying for electricity, water, garbage, those
all
type of things.
inclusive office space.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. In a nice area in Vacaville, which is quiet.
Near a freeway on Leisuretowne Road.
Oh my goodness, this sounds like an amazing opportunity.
I-80.
So like $1,500 or something? An office?
I wish it was that much. No, actually, we're giving a great deal on it. Actually,
really?
I don't want to say the pricing yet, but we're looking around like $800 to $1,000.
Sounds really good.
8 by 9
office
size spaces.
Are you going to have like desks and chairs and stuff ready for them, or is it empty?
At this point, it's empty.
Okay, but
those are things that we could work out. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are some of the concepts that we're dealing with right now.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If you are listening to this podcast, not only should you like and follow us, but if you had some questions, you're local because you're in Vacaville, California, and you're like, hey, I'd love to talk about this, hit us up sooner than later because deals are to be made.
They're going to go quick.
They are going to go quick. But yeah, this is great.
The reason I was bringing that up, though, is this is a big gamble for us. We've never done anything like this. Yes, we're in the real estate market, but we're not in commercial for one.
Yeah. And
so this is just that new thing that we're dealing with. And I think we didn't pull the plug on it for almost 3 or 4 months because we weren't sure how we were going to handle it and everything else. And so, it's just one of those that we're going, we just have to take this gamble sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where you were at the year or two ago.
Yeah.
You took those gambles, but now you're actually taking a hit on 1 or 2 things and you need to look back on, okay, the gamble paid off. Don't look at these minor losses. Or if you look at them, what did I learn from it?
Absolutely. And like when he put it in perspective, I was freaking out about such a little amount. Because I used to have to freak out about such a little amount. And I forgot that I grew up. Like our business is doing a lot better. And for the moment, I just focused on the fact that I lost something. And that's all I focused on. And I mean, that's why we call this, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's really easy to hyperfixate on a loss, especially, and I'm going to switch this to real talk for men for a second. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I'm just totally wrong about this. So if I'm wrong, just tell me in the comments. But I was having this conversation with us right before, and I said, look, I feel like it's gotten a little bit better, but there's this oppression and this thought process that as a man, we always have to be winning and at the top always. There's such a pressure that you can never lose. You can never fail. You always have to be the best. You have to be the alpha. Any show of weakness is failure. If you make one mistake, you have failed. Like this weird, and I know that's not entirely true, but there's that feeling that you can never especially as a business, you can never show weakness. You can never lose. You always have to win because everyone's against you, and you have it's just a fight.
It's funny you mention that because yes, I believe that is a persona out there for men, and most men believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those that my dad listens to this podcast, so thank you. I think he's hit the like button.
Hey, we got one.
That's it.
That's the guy. No, just kidding. We've had a couple actually. I've been surprised.
But I've also mentioned there are certain things that I've always agreed with what my dad has done.
Sure.
But I think it's the same with my son on how I handle certain things as well. And that's just part of living and growing and knowing the experiences.
Yeah.
So I say that because I've seen what I thought over the years is he would say things like, oh, it's just going great. It's going great. But I knew on the other side that it wasn't going great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I try not to be a bullshitter.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those, and I don't think he was bullshitting per se. I think it was just more of one of those that, hey, let's not tell people these things that I might be failing in, or things aren't going as well because of that persona, especially,
you have to project strength and
yes,
all this other stuff, right?
And he was in the era where that was more of how it had to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say that because if people ask me now, I'm like, oh, it was a little bit rougher for the real estate market this year. So my wife wasn't doing as good there. I didn't have the growth that I wanted to on the rental properties, but we still kept it where it was. And so in those things, I'm just being honest. Hey, it wasn't the best year. And I just want to tell myself that too, because we didn't go down. Mm-hmm. We still were able to save some money. We made some certain changes that were better for the office. So if I just looked at those negative things, it would have just kept bringing me down.
100%. And I know when this happened, as I reflected, there's two things I realized. One was fear overtook me because I focused on the wrong thing. And I was afraid that some of the things I did, which was add payroll and add employees and
just small
little things that thousands and thousands of dollars I'm paying out. Right. I was terrified that what if I couldn't keep doing we just grew, and what if I failed and now I have to fire everybody? What if I thought none of that was true in my head. It was such a big deal, and it really wasn't. And I got scared. I got so terrified that I screwed up somehow, and I didn't have an answer right away, and I couldn't immediately fix it and just continue growing because I have a crazy desire for my business, and you and I've talked about I have this crazy growth plan for us that people have told me locally, you're insane. There's no way you can do that. I'm like, get out of my way. Watch me. I will do this if it kills me. We will do this. And then people one day marvel, well, look at this company. They did an amazing job and you must have had it easy. I'm like,
yeah,
nope. I fought for this. And that's what it is, a fight. We have to make it happen. It doesn't get handed to us. And for that moment when I was focusing on the loss, that was my entire focus is how do I fix this? How do I immediately shift and change? And I'm in this place where I'm metamorphizing myself. I'm trying to grow as a business owner. I'm trying to be better and take on new responsibilities. And my shift has less been about satisfying my wants and desires and building a business that goes beyond me, which is a pretty dramatic shift. And it's not about me. It's about the people, about the team, and about how I can make sure that my team has everything they need, and then they get good paychecks and they get health insurance. That is my focus, is making the business healthy.
And you lost a client or two, and now you feel it's a step back.
100%. Yeah. Forgetting that I just a month ago
10 forward.
Yeah. I took 10 forward, huge, big numbers, insane numbers. And I'm focusing on such a little amount, but I have this weird need to stack wins. And the minute I don't have a win, I spiraled.
Yeah.
Which I thought I was better than that. So I thought it'd be nice to be honest.
Yeah.
I focused on the wrong thing this week.
It's funny though, when we go back to your comment about, is this a man thing? Is this a male thing? Do we need to approve something?
Yeah.
And I'm really overanalyzing this here.
Please go.
Your dad was military, correct?
No, he worked for the U.S. government.
Oh, okay.
Same thing now.
Okay.
Very, very similar ethos. My dad,
So he wasn't in the armed forces,
No.
He worked for the government.
Yes, he worked for no such agency.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I guess
You know what that is.
I was supposed not to say.
No.
Okay,
It's a joke. So no such agency is NSA. He worked for Department of Defense.
Okay.
I will never know what he actually worked on
Okay.
For at least another 10 years until it becomes declassified. But he was really good, very smart.
Yeah. Still, government has their
very, very rigid and very
and
push, and we do this and we accomplish these things. And I've
until 10 years ago was the don't say, don't tell. What is that? Do not tell.
Yeah, don't ask, don't tell.
Thank you very much.
But that was a different thing.
Get that, but that's still that mentality is where I'm going with in the government, where I think they have where a lot of our male psyche comes into things. You do it this way. You don't show your emotions. You don't let people show your weaknesses. And in the military, that is a good thing if you're going to war. Let's not show our weaknesses. So there's a point to where it's good.
Yeah.
But I think that carries into our mentality of at least older generation of men of why if you have those losses, it's a failure instead of an educational moment.
Well, and I know some of this is my own issues. Like you and I have talked about this. All of us have our own demons we're trying to slay, right? Our own giants we're trying to slay, whatever you want to call it, right? And so mine is that I have a need to have success. I want to prove to myself and everyone else around me that I can build this thing and we can be big. I want to compete against companies that currently exist that are huge. Like I look at Universal and I go, I want to come after you. I'm nowhere near what Universal, but those are the giants I want to pick fights with, David and Goliath type stuff.
So you want to go to those conventions that you just went to, and you want to have one of those booths where you're basically now.
Yeah, I want to be the big. I want to get to a place where we are so successful, everyone wants to work with us, and they go, "Oh my gosh, they're like the Apple of this." Like that's what I want to build. I want Alex Hermosi to know who I am. Versus the other way
you're
around.
going to get him on our podcast and make my
make your dream come true. But like
my little man crush come through.
I want to I'm chasing after the impossible because that's my goal. And if I have a goal to try to do the impossible, it's a much better chance I'm going to get there than if I don't have that goal. And so, yeah, I'm shooting for insane things. I may never make it, but I'm going to get as close as I fucking possibly can.
Yeah.
And I will do whatever it takes within reason. I probably won't kill a man. Yeah. Probably. But if I do, there's a marsh that's nearby. I'm just saying, there's contingency plans, my friend. There's some police officer listening going, okay.
Yeah, right.
So-and-so goes missing. Knock on his door.
Just hope they don't listen to this
Has he pissed
podcast.
off somebody? Right. But no, like I know part of it's me. I know I have an insane drive. And it goes back to like what a man is too. Like I'm not a typical alpha sports rah guy until I'm pushed, and then the alpha version of me comes. I prefer relax. I have like a hidden alpha where you push me, then I will. Yeah. Okay. Then you'll see the other version of me, and that's not a pleasant one. I don't like that version. I don't like having to be that guy. My type of man comes out as the man who delivers on what he says, who's responsible, who's building and provides. Like I care about people. I want my people to have more.
That's a great thing.
Which is crazy that a business is like, I want to pay people more.
But I don't think a lot of owners in businesses or a lot of those that look at the owners don't realize how many failures there are a day that we're making. And so I think that's where I think we wanted to bring this podcast of, and we've talked about this in other podcasts. I mean, so it's not something new we've brought up, but you always just need that reminder. And this is why you brought it up, because you just went through some of those little setbacks.
Yeah. And to the point, it wasn't really that big of a thing. I was focused on the wrong thing. As a business, we're doing exceptionally well. When AI tells you, I use AI, I may have said that, but when AI comes back and snaps back at you, literally snaps back, claps back at you and go, you're charging too little. You're not a boutique business anymore. You're a firm and you should act like a firm. It's been a while since AI's literally barked back at me saying you're pathetic and you need to act like the business you are. And I'm like, okay, I give up.
And that's what's hard about growth stages too, because you don't know where that fine line is of how much do you start charging?
Yeah.
Where do you bring the growth to? How many employees? Yeah,
exactly. And when we grow, it's really easy to, maybe I'm wrong in this, but for me, other people have said, I've seen how much you've grown so fast recently. It's hard for me to see it. It's like weight loss, right?
Mhm.
I don't see the weight. I finally starting to see some of the weight loss. Everyone else saw it 3 or 4 months ago. I'm now finally recognizing it. It took me twice as long to recognize it because when you look in the mirror every day, you see the same thing. You see you don't recognize those little changes that everyone else sees because they didn't see you for a week. You saw the same face in the mirror every day, right? And so I always think, this is something you and I've talked about. I always feel like I'm failing in some way and I'm not as smart as I am and someone else is doing it better and I'm not doing enough and I'm not working hard enough and yada yada. Like that's always going through my mind. And everyone else is like, but you did 20 hours this week every day for the last week. I'm like, yeah, but I slept 4. They're like, no, you need more. I'm like, yeah, I know I need to work this 4 extra hours. No.
No.
You need more sleep.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're a zombie right now. How are you up? I'm like, well, I gotta get this done. I need to do more. I'm like, no, you don't. I think Alex said this really well. If you want incredible things, you must be willing to do incredibly hard things to get those incredible things.
And it's one of the things when I'm going to take this into a growth thing real quick. So if I'm going in the wrong direction of where you wanted with this, let me know. But I was listening to one of his podcasts the other day, obviously. And one of the things that he was talking about in the growth that I think is tough for entrepreneurs is he was talking about these add-ons that we put into businesses and how to make extra money on this. And it's one of those things I think, as you brought this up, of you're now starting to charge more.
Yeah.
And chat was just saying, hey, slap you in the face, charge more.
Yeah.
But I think we feel guilty because we've been at this one level for so long that you don't want to charge an extra. You don't want to add this thing on. And you think because of am I going to feel guilty about this? Am I taking advantage of somebody? And it's one of those that I love what he said is people want your product. If they didn't, they wouldn't be asking about it.
100%.
And so it's hard for us entrepreneurs or business owners to get in the mindset of, okay, yes, they want my business. And so it's okay to charge for this. It's okay to ask for these, because if they don't want it, they won't buy it.
And so, like, no, I 100%. And that's the thing. Like, people, no one in your immediate group is going to be excited when you say, hey, I'm going to raise my price. I'm going to charge more.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to tell you you're wrong. Why? Because they don't want to get charged more. And they know they should be paying more. They know they should, especially if they know they're getting it for super cheap and what you provide is way more valuable. But, it's when you're in growth, and this is something you and I have talked about, especially I am in the process of growing. And one of the things, just a separate, real quick, I love having our podcast because I get to talk to you who's kind of gone through some of this, and you're looking back and going, yeah, you're not crazy. You're growing. And I see that growth, and it really helps me because I'm still coming up, and you've kind of been through it, and you're in a different stage where you're looking at the next level of your business, right? So I love our talks like this because it helps me go, oh, I'm not insane. This is normal. And why hasn't anyone written like a how-to book of dealing with this crap, right? And even if they did, we probably still wouldn't touch on all the stuff that we, as owners and as people who grow, who force ourselves to grow, go through. Because let's be honest, most people aren't looking to grow in their lives. That's a whole nother conversation. But like, most people are happy being where they're at.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole mind thing.
That's
our minds like us to just stay calm.
Yeah. I force myself. I want more. I've always been like this, which is good because I can reflect over the last, how many years have we known each other? Oh my God, 15, 16, 18, 20, 18 years. So my best friend and business partner, we've known each other for 18 years. And I think back to how we started and where we're at now. And both of us have tremendously grown in business and how we do things, and our personalities changed some stances and things. But I also know people from 18 years ago who are exactly the same. And it scares the living shit out of me that I become that type of person. Like, that's just me. So maybe this is just part of growing.
Yeah. And that's why I actually tried to tie in that Alex Ramosi comment about the growth in the business, because you're trying that growth, you're charging more, but now all of a sudden you hit that one setback because you're going, well, did I lose that client because I charge more? Did I try the extra? And so you're trying to step outside that box.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I want to try and tie this whole thing together is you took a loss on something you were trying to experiment.
Yeah.
But that was one little thing.
Well, and to be honest, that thing that I think there's a weird emotional attachment to that first one, because this is what started us charging that next level and doing our fractional CMO. This is our first real one. And so we did the full year contract, which was great. And I knew this was coming to an end because that's what the contract was for. And that's what they wanted. And we already talked about transitioning, but I guess there was an emotional thing that happened when it was like, oh crap, it's done. And yeah, I've gotten more, but it's different now. I'm like, and I'm trying to, it's a whole slew of weird things going through your head. Yeah.
So don't
focus on the
thing.
Don't focus on the wrong things.
Yeah.
And I think that actually helps me. And to our audience, I wanted to have this conversation mostly to bring up the fact that, look, especially for men, and we call the average white guys for a reason. One of the things we want to talk about, and we talk about this often, is really dispelling the lies the world tries to tell us. And if you're listening to this podcast, we hope this actually helped remind you to stop focusing on the little things and look at the big picture. Would you agree?
Yes, exactly.
And if you're anything like us, hopefully this conversation has helped you get to the next level. So hopefully it was good for you. So hit that like button. Tell us what you thought in the comments section below. And until next time, we are
the Average White Guys.